My child, stop for just 10 seconds. Not later, not after this scroll, not when your mind feels ready now. I need your attention, not because I want to frighten you, but because I love you too much to stay quiet anymore. You've learned how to keep moving even when your heart is heavy, how to smile when your spirit is tired, how to say I'm fine when everything inside you is asking for relief. I see that. I see you pausing for a moment and then rushing again, telling yourself you'll come back to what matters when life slows down. But life hasn't slowed down, has it? It's only gotten louder. That's why I'm asking you for these 10 seconds, because sometimes one small pause is all it takes for truth to finally reach you. You think you're just reading words, but this moment was not accidental. There is a reason your attention landed here, a reason something in your chest feels tight, alert, awake. I have been trying to reach you in quieter ways, through small nudges, through discomfort you couldn't explain, through thoughts that interrupted your routines. But each time you pushed them aside, not because you don't care, but because you've been overwhelmed. Still, I didn't stop calling. I don't give up on my children when they're tired. I move closer. Right now, in these 10 seconds, something unseen is aligning, something you didn't plan but desperately need. You've been feeling it lately, haven't you? That strange tension, like something is about to change but you don't know how or when. You've tried to ignore it, to label it as stress or imagination, but deep down you know it's more than that. It's a pull on your spirit, a quiet urgency you can't shake. That's me. Not rushing you, not threatening you, awakening you, because you are standing at a crossroads, and in 10 seconds, the direction you face will matter more than you realize. This isn't about panic, it's about awareness. When your eyes open, protection follows. I know you've been crying in silence. I know about the prayers you didn't finish because your throat closed up. I know how strong you look on the outside, and how exhausted you feel inside. You've been carrying questions you don't know how to ask, and fears you don't know how to name. You keep telling yourself to hold on a little longer, to be patient, to not make a fuss. But hear me clearly now. You don't have to suffer quietly to be faithful. In these 10 seconds, I'm reminding you that you are not invisible, not forgotten, not alone in your struggle. There is movement around you that you cannot see yet. Conversations are happening. Decisions are forming. Someone is thinking about you, and not all intentions are pure. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to prepare you. Discernment is a form of love. I'm not warning you because danger has power over you, but because awareness gives you power over danger. In 10 seconds, something hidden begins to surface, not to harm you, but to reveal what you need to know before it reaches you unguarded. You've been asking for clarity, for something real, something unmistakable. You said you were tired of vague signs and half answers. This is me answering you directly. This is not a message meant to be consumed and forgotten. It's meant to be received. If you walk away from this moment distracted, you'll still survive. But you may miss understanding what I was protecting you from and guiding you toward. In 10 seconds, alignment is possible. Your spirit already knows it. That's why you're still here. Listen to how your body feels right now. Notice the stillness trying to settle over you beneath the noise of your thoughts. That's peace knocking, not fear. I don't come to overwhelm your soul. I come to steady it. I don't rush you into decisions. I slow you down so you can see clearly. In these 10 seconds, I'm asking you to stop running, not from your responsibilities, but from your own heart. Let it speak. Let it breathe. Let it hear me. So stay just a little longer. Breathe in, breathe out. You don't need to understand everything right now. You don't need to fix your whole life in one moment. All I'm asking is that you don't skip this pause, because sometimes destiny doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives quietly, asking for 10 seconds of your attention. And if you give me that, I will guide you through what comes next, with clarity, protection, and love you don't have to earn. In these 10 seconds, I need you to listen with more than your ears. Let your spirit lean in, because what I'm sharing now is not meant to alarm you, but to steady you. There are moments when love must speak plainly, when protection must sound like warning. You sense that not everything around you feels right, that certain smiles feel forced, certain words feel hollow. You try to talk yourself out of that feeling, telling yourself you were overthinking, being sensitive again. But discernment often arrives as discomfort before it arrives as understanding. In 10 seconds, I want you to trust that in a pause you've been feeling it was never confusion, it was guidance. There are people who see your kindness and mistake it for weakness, people who hear your silence and assume you don't notice what's happening. But I've sharpened your awareness through every disappointment you survived. Nothing you went through was wasted. You learned how to read energy because you had to. You learned how to feel truth because words failed you before. Right now, in these 10 seconds, I'm reminding you that you don't owe everyone access to your heart. Love does not mean lack of boundaries, and peace does not require explanation. Something is being presented to you soon, an idea, an offer, a conversation, a reconnection. On the surface, it may look harmless, even appealing. It may sound like exactly what you've been waiting for. But not everything that arrives quickly is meant to stay, and not everything that feels familiar is safe. I'm asking you not to rush. In 10 seconds, patience can save you from months of regret. If something requires you to silence your intuition to accept it, it's not aligned with me. You spent too long blaming yourself for other people's actions, carrying guilt that was never yours. You questioned your worth because others were inconsistent. You wondered what was wrong with you when things fell apart. Hear me now. What didn't stay was not sent to last. I removed what you were trying to hold together because it was quietly draining you. In these 10 seconds, I want you to release the idea that loss always means failure. Sometimes it means protection doing its job. There is a reason your spirit has been restless. You're outgrowing old agreements, spoken and unspoken. You're no longer meant to tolerate half-truths, delayed respect, or conditional care. This is the season where clarity replaces confusion, but clarity requires courage. In 10 seconds, you may feel the urge to step back, to observe instead of react. Follow that instinct. Silence can reveal more than confrontation ever could. I know you're afraid of getting it wrong again, afraid of trusting the wrong person, choosing the wrong path, opening your heart only to be disappointed. But fear is not your compass. I didn't design you to live guarded forever. I designed you to live aware. There is a difference. In these 10 seconds, let go of the belief that caution means closing yourself off. True wisdom keeps your heart open and your eyes clear at the same time. Pay attention to what costs you peace. Notice who leaves you drained after interaction. Notice which conversations feel heavy even when they sound polite. These are not small details, they are signals. I speak through calmness, through alignment, through what settles your spirit rather than agitates it. In 10 seconds, choose to honor that calm instead of explaining it away. You don't need proof to protect your peace. You need trust. Stay grounded now. You are not late. You are not missing out. Nothing meant for you will require you to betray yourself. What's coming will not rush you, confuse you, or pressure you into shrinking. It will feel steady. It will feel clear. It will feel right, even if it challenges you. In these 10 seconds, anchor yourself in that truth. I am guiding you, guarding you, and preparing you step by step for what's next. In these 10 seconds, something inside you is already shifting, even if you can't name it yet. Change doesn't always announce itself with noise. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet decision deep in your chest, a subtle knowing that you can no longer live the way you used to. You've been shedding layers without realizing it, old reactions, old habits, old versions of yourself that learned to survive but forgot how to rest. Right now, in this pause, I want you to notice that you're not who you were before. And that's not loss. That's growth finally catching up with your soul. You've spent a long time trying to be understandable to everyone, trying to soften your edges so you wouldn't be misunderstood or rejected. You learned to dim yourself, to wait your turn, to accept less than you deserved because you were afraid of being alone again. But something has changed. In these 10 seconds, you may feel a new firmness in you, not anger, not pride, clarity. You are no longer willing to abandon yourself just to be chosen. And that decision alone alters your entire path. There is a version of you emerging that doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't over-explain. This version listens first, moves with intention, and trusts what they feel. You are beginning to recognize that peace is more valuable than approval, and alignment is more important than attention. In 10 seconds, you are stepping out of survival mode and into self-respect. The world may not notice immediately, but the shift has already registered in the unseen. You may feel like you're standing between two worlds, the one you've outgrown and the one you haven't fully stepped into yet. That in-between space can feel lonely, confusing, even uncomfortable, but it's also sacred. It's where transformation happens. In these 10 seconds, I want you to understand that uncertainty doesn't mean you're lost, it means you're transitioning. You're no longer settling, but you're not forcing what's next either. You're learning to wait without shrinking. You've been tested in ways few people know. You've carried responsibilities that weren't fair, endured silence that hurt more than words, and kept showing up even when you felt empty. Those experiences didn't weaken you, they refined you. In 10 seconds, recognize that your resilience wasn't accidental, it was preparation. You are stronger now, but more importantly, you are wiser. You know what costs too much and what nourishes your spirit. The shift happening now isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before disappointment taught you to doubt yourself. You're remembering your intuition, your sensitivity, your depth not as flaws but as strengths. In these 10 seconds, allow yourself to stop apologizing for how deeply you feel and how clearly you see. The world needs people who move with heart and discernment, not numbness. As this new alignment settles in, some things will naturally fall away. Certain connections will fade. Certain routines will lose their grip. This is not punishment, it's release. You don't have to force endings when growth makes them obvious. In 10 seconds, give yourself permission to let go without guilt. What leaves now makes room for what can meet you at your new level. Stay with this feeling, let it anchor you. You are not rushing toward a finish line, you are stepping into a truer rhythm. From this place, your choices will sound different, your boundaries will feel firmer, and your life will begin to reflect the peace you've been craving. In these 10 seconds, the shift isn't just happening around you, it's happening within you, and once it does, nothing goes back to the way it was before. In these 10 seconds, I want you to stop looking ahead and come fully into this moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow here. This is where readiness lives. You don't have to perform, prove, or promise anything. All that's required now is presence. You spent so much time preparing for a future, you couldn't see that you forgot how powerful you are when you're fully awake to now. In these 10 seconds, allow your shoulders to drop, your breath to deepen, and your spirit to stand upright again. What's about to unfold doesn't need your force. It needs your permission. You don't have to chase what's already aligned. You don't have to convince what's meant to choose you. The next step will reveal itself naturally, without panic, without pressure. In these 10 seconds, let go of the habit of bracing for disappointment. Expectation doesn't mean naivety, it means trust. And trust is what opens doors that effort alone never could. There is a quiet activation happening within you now. Not dramatic, not overwhelming steady. It's the moment when doubt loosens its grip and faith takes its place. Faith not as blind belief, but as calm confidence that you are guided. In these 10 seconds, something clicks. You realize you don't need every answer to move forward. Only the courage to take the next honest step. That realization is power. You may feel an urge to declare something, not loudly, not publicly, but inwardly. A decision that says, I'm done settling, or I choose peace, or I trust what's unfolding. That declaration matters more than you know. In these 10 seconds, your inner yes carries more weight than 1,000 external promises. It signals readiness to the unseen. It tells life you are open, grounded, and prepared to receive. As you stand here, notice how fear no longer feels as loud as it once did. It may still whisper, but it no longer leads. You've learned too much, healed too deeply to be driven by panic again. In these 10 seconds, choose to act from alignment rather than urgency. What's meant for you won't require you to abandon your peace to reach it. There will be moments ahead that feel ordinary on the surface: a conversation, a message, an invitation, but carry extraordinary impact beneath. Pay attention to what feels calm, clear, and steady. That's where guidance lives. In these 10 seconds, remind yourself that miracles don't always arrive wrapped in spectacle. Often they arrive disguised as simplicity, asking only that you recognize them. You're not stepping into this next phase alone. Support you couldn't see before is already in motion. Paths are aligning, timing is adjusting, people are being positioned. In these 10 seconds, let yourself be held by that truth. You don't need to manage everything. You are allowed to be guided, supported, and surprised by goodness again. So stay open, stay grounded. Let this moment mark a quiet turning point. In these 10 seconds, something completes and something begins, not with noise, but with clarity, not with fear, but with peace. And from this place, you move forward differently, centered, awake, and ready for what comes next.